My name is Michael Surzan. I am president of the local Lancaster Historical Society for quite a few years now, and we are here to promote the local history of Lancaster and its surrounding towns. There was a historical workshop formed many years ago and then officially disbanded, and Tom Wintle, who was the minister of the First Church here, as I point, it's across the street, got together and formed a historical society, and there was about 20 of us that gathered and put some bylaws together and formed the Lancaster Historical Society in 1989, and now we're in our 19th year. And as time goes, and we still have a nice membership of about 60 people, and always trying to find new membership and get the younger people who move into the area interested in Lancaster's history, which is very deep and rich. Just to clarify the difference between the Lancaster Historical Commission and the Society, a lot of people assume both organizations are one, but in actuality they're two different organizations. The Historical Commission is a board appointed by the selectmen to govern the historical events in town and is a repository for a lot of information for people for doing research, and our office is in the town hall. The Historical Society is a private organization, a non-profit, to promote the history of Lancaster in any which way we can. So they are two separate endeavors, which a lot of people assume they're one.
My name is Joan Richards. I've lived in town for 30 years, and I'm the secretary of the Historical Society. I also work in the town hall in the capacity of office coordinator at the Historical Commission. I have a very big passion for history, and Lancaster's is deep and rich. We had a 350th celebration 5 years ago, which was really highlighted with the Historical Society supporting the committee that was appointed by the town. And we had a float, and we had an author who came to town who wanted to, she actually was born in town and grew up in this town, went to college at AUC, Heather Maurer Lennon, and she had wanted to provide a history, a modern history, and the Images of America was asking us to come forward and do a program on, or a book on this, and we were not able to have a member of the local officers do it, but Heather stepped forward and she put together the first edition. And now she's done Lancaster Revisited, which we're highlighting, and it's very well written, and we have copies available through Michael Surzan, and they are also at the town hall with the town clerk, Sue Thompson. She has them available to sell, the first and second edition, and I have them in the office on Tuesdays. At the Historical Commission, we're only open on Tuesdays. And we also have a coloring book that was done on a grant. Back when Dr. Wintle was here, he had asked Kathy Homez if she would be interested in doing a coloring book. She's an artist who was very talented in town. So she did a historical coloring book, and we provide these for the children of the second and third grade level for schools here in Lancaster. And this past year we were given a grant from the Lancaster Cultural Council, and the students from all the schools, including the private schools, Perkins School, and anyone who had that grade level of student, were able to have these given to them. And they still are available at the school. If you're homeschooling a child and you haven't had one of these books, you can reach them at the Mary Rowlandson School. Just talk to Janice Kerrigan and they can provide you with these free coloring books for your students.
We, as a historical society, which is very unfortunate, we do not have our own home or building. And here we are, the mother of town to all these other towns, and all our surrounding towns have a building. But on the other hand, the way we look at it at this point, the high maintenance of keeping a building without an endowment has made us able to go out and not be held down with the responsibility of a building. But we meet in some of the public buildings, some of the private buildings around town. We've met at the Perkins School. We've met in private homes here. We've had meetings at the Atlantic Union College and in our town buildings throughout the area. And eventually, if we have to, we'll go beyond our doors to other communities that were part of Lancaster many, many years ago and try to get them educated as to what is going on.
I thought it might be interesting for people who are new to town and are not aware of the significant history of Mary Rowlandson to know that she was the first American woman to author a book. She actually was an unusual woman because in the days that she was alive, most women weren't privileged to be taught to learn to read or write. And her father and mother, John and Joanna White, had moved to Lancaster, and they must have valued education because she obviously was able to read and write. And when the town was attacked in 1675-6 by the area King Philip Indians, they burned the garrison house and took her and her daughter Sarah into captivity. And they also took her other two children, but they were separated. And when Mary came back and was redeemed by John Hoare, who was from Concord, he was instrumental in the release, obtaining her release. She came back and she and her husband moved to Wethersfield, Connecticut. And she was convinced to write down her story, and I think she did it as a mother so that her children would understand what had happened.